In a world filled with uncertainties, from economic instability to climatic changes, ensuring the survival and well-being of our families becomes paramount. Today, we delve into a crucial subject that transcends time and geography, the ancient practice of saving grain and milling our own wheat. This practice is not just a nod to history, but a potential lifeline for the future. The time to start saving grain is now. Welcome to Lion's Homestead.
Hello, and welcome back to Lion's Homestead. Our journey began as a family leaving the city for a holistic, natural lifestyle in the countryside. Today, we're exploring a topic close to our hearts and stomachs: the profound importance of saving grain and milling our own wheat at home. By the end of this documentary, you'll understand why this practice could literally save your life and the lives of those you care about the most. This information is for everyone, so like and share this video full of vital information with your family, coworkers, and friends. Let's get into it.
Throughout history, grain has been a cornerstone of human survival. Archaeological evidence from Israel, dating back thousands of years, reveals stone artifacts embedded with grains and ancient hearths used for baking bread. Grain, particularly wheat, has been a vital source of sustenance since the dawn of civilization. Consider the story of Joseph from the Bible. Joseph was divinely guided by God through the Pharaoh's dream to store wheat, which ultimately saved not only Egypt but the surrounding nations from famine. Joseph, a key figure in the book of Genesis in the King James Version of the Bible, implemented a strategic plan to save grain during 7 years of plenty to prepare for an ensuing 7 years of famine. I will describe in detail how he achieved this goal and how we may very well learn from this historical tale of Joseph. Joseph advised Pharaoh to prepare for the upcoming famine by storing surplus grain during the years of abundance. He suggested appointing a wise and discerning man to oversee this task. In Genesis 41, 33 through 36, it read Joseph's specific advice to the Pharaoh. Now therefore, let Pharaoh look out a man discreet and wise and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish, not through the famine. Impressed by Joseph's interpretation and wisdom, Pharaoh appointed Joseph as the second in command over Egypt, giving him authority to carry out the plan. Joseph traveled throughout Egypt, organizing the collection and storage of grain during the 7 years of plenty. He gathered a 5th of the produce during these years. According to Genesis 41, 48 through 49, Joseph stored the grain in large quantities in various cities. The grain collected was like the sand of the sea, so much so that they stopped keeping records because it was beyond measure. When the 7 years of famine began, Joseph opened the storehouses and sold grain to the Egyptians and to people from surrounding countries who came to Egypt to buy grain. His effective management not only saved Egypt, but also provided food for other nations, demonstrating the far-reaching impact of his foresight and administrative skills. Joseph's actions during these critical years showcased his exceptional leadership capabilities and his ability to foresee and mitigate the impending crisis, ensuring the survival and prosperity of many, namely the children of Israel mentioned in the Bible. If Joseph didn't save the grain, his entire family may not have survived the famine. Do you realize, friends, that this ancient wisdom remains relevant today? And you have the power to be the Joseph in your family, the Joseph to your neighbor, the Joseph to your community. The point is to be like Joseph by saving grain during the years of plenty to ensure your survival. If the time comes when others have no provisions because of a shutdown, an economic collapse, or even at worst, war. Through saving grain, you can ensure you're ready and prepared for the long haul if need be. History has taught us that during times of war, food can become scarce and even require the handout of daily rations, but we'll get into that a little later. So why did grains alone save the people of Egypt under Joseph's rule?
The answer to that question is simple. God knew what was right and perfect to preserve his people at that time. You see, wheat is not only a nutritional powerhouse, but also one of the most sustainable grains, capable of being stored indefinitely if kept dry and protected from pests. And just so we're clear here, grain covers a multitude of dried foods from wheat, corn, rice, amaranth, barley, bulgur, farro, quinoa, oats. This list goes on and on. Did you know that Norway has dedicated to spending $6 million a year stockpiling grain, citing pandemic, war, and climate change? In 2024, Norway started storing 15,000 tons of grain and do so yearly until 2028 or 2029, according to Norway's Minister for Agriculture and Food, Geir Pollestad, who said the aim is to always have a 3-month worth of consumption in storage. Toward the end of the decade, 82,500 tons of grain should be in stock. Pollestad didn't elaborate on the type of grain to be stored. Pollestad told the Norwegian news agency NTB, quote, that they must take into consideration the unthinkable happening. In a situation with extreme prices on the world market, it will still be possible to buy grain. But if we have done our job, we will not be so dependent on the highest bidder at auction. We can help keep prices down. That's not all. The Guardian recently posted an article titled, "Economists Suggest Storing Grain to Prepare for Next Global Emergency." The signs are here, guys. Let's wake up. We have to open our eyes and take advantage of the time we have right now. In contemporary society, wheat is ubiquitous, forming the basis of countless food items we consume every day, like bread, pasta, cakes, crackers, and more. However, the way we consume wheat has drastically changed over the past 2 centuries. Whole grains consist of 3 components: the germ, the bran, and the endosperm. Historically, people consumed grains in their whole, unrefined form. But with the advent of the roller mill around 1870, grains began to be highly refined, stripping away the nutrient-rich germ and bran, leaving only the starchy endosperm. They took away all the good and left us with the starch, many times selling the germ and bran as animal feed. Refined flour once was reserved for the wealthy, but would soon become cheaper and more accessible. However, this came at a significant nutritional cost to everyone. Removing the germ and bran not only extended the shelf life of flour, but also stripped it of essential nutrients. This would soon fill our shelves with products that are beautiful and tasty, but lacking the nutrition we need to stay healthy.
This shift has had dire consequences. Refined grains have been linked to higher levels of inflammatory markers, contributing to conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. Additionally, the rapid absorption of refined carbohydrates can lead to blood sugar spikes and subsequent crashes, fostering weight gain and metabolic disorders. Did you know that even during World War II, on April 6, 1942, the British government, like many other governments during the war, implemented strict food rationing to manage shortages and ensure that all citizens had access to necessities. The Ministry of Food introduced the National Loaf, a gray and gritty bread intended to be the cornerstone of their cuisine. Bakers were actually prohibited from producing any bread other than the National Loaf. This loaf was so nutritionally dense, it was dubbed Hitler's secret weapon as a measure to stave off starvation. But surprisingly enough, the health benefits of a diet based on this bread were quite amazing. The added vitamins, along with the wholemeal flour as opposed to the bleached white flour they had baked with before the war, gave the British the vigor to fight and win a world war. You see, guys, it has always been common knowledge before modern times that wholemealed wheat bread in its natural ground form is nutritious and can sustain a population through tough times with food, so much so that the British literally banned the sale and baking of white bread during tough times of war, as it simply would not sustain the people. Because whole grain bread was so important, even the Bible reminds us in Deuteronomy 24:6, "No man shall take the nether or the upper millstone to pledge, for he taketh a man's life to pledge." This verse highlights the importance of the millstone in daily life. Taking a millstone as collateral for a debt was prohibited because it was essential for grinding grain to make bread, a basic food staple. The millstone was crucial for survival, and taking it would deprive a person of their means to prepare food. We have to open our eyes to the importance of this. No matter if you are in an apartment, have a big house, have small children, no children, young or old, you should have started storing grain yesterday.
When you mill your wheat at home, you're reclaiming those lost nutrients. Freshly milled wheat retains 100% of its nutrients, including B vitamins, vitamin E, iron, magnesium, and fiber. However, once wheat is milled into flour, it starts to lose its nutritional value rapidly due to oxidation. Within just 24 hours, up to 40% of the nutrients in flour can be lost. After 72 hours, up to 90% of the nutrients are gone. This means that the commercial flours you find in stores often have little to no nutrients left, apart from the enriched vitamins added back in. In the past, local mills provided freshly milled flour to communities, ensuring a steady supply of nutritious bread. However, the rise of industrial milling and the widespread availability of white bread led to nutritional deficiencies and related health problems. Diseases like pellagra and beriberi, caused by deficiencies in niacin and thiamine respectively, became prevalent. Pellagra is a condition caused by a severe deficiency of niacin, vitamin B3. It affects the whole body and can eventually lead to death. Primary pellagra is caused by a lack of niacin in your diet. Beriberi is a condition in which the body doesn't have enough vitamin B1, also called thiamine. People with this condition can experience difficulty walking, loss of feeling in their hands and feet, loss of muscle function and mental confusion, and even poor memory. While the millers agreeing to enrich the refined flour with vitamins helped, it did not seem to completely address the root of the problem. Bread used to be a primary source of vitamin B1. This nutrient is significantly reduced in roller-mill bleached flour. After they remove the bran and germ, which, as I mentioned before, are now sold as animal feed, it seemed to result in healthy animals but sickly humans. This is a serious matter that should be taught to everyone. Milling your own wheat allows you to take your health back into your hands.
By saving and milling your own wheat, you're ensuring food security and nutritional health. Wheat can be used in numerous ways beyond bread, as porridge, popped like popcorn, boiled like rice, or even sprouted for wheatgrass juice. Wheatgrass, the young grass of the wheat plant, is a potent health food, rich in chlorophyll, vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. It can help prevent diseases, reduce oxidative stress, and boost metabolism. Saving your grains and milling your own wheat at home not only ensures you're getting all the vital nutrients you need, but also promotes a sustainable and self-sufficient lifestyle. Self-sustained for now and the future. Freshly milled flour enhances the flavor and nutritional value of your baked goods, providing a rich source of fiber, vitamins, and minerals, especially when you add ingredients such as sourdough yeast for leavening. Sourdough has been used since ancient times, with evidence suggesting it was practiced by the Egyptians around 1500 BC. Sourdough fermentation relies on a symbiotic culture of lactic acid bacteria and wild yeast. This process not only causes the bread to rise, but also enhances its nutritional value and digestibility. The fermentation process creates a chewy crumb and a crispy crust, providing a superior texture that many find more satisfying. And because you grow it literally from your own fresh milled flour and the local wild yeast in the air, you have an endless supply of yeast, always available to make your life-sustaining bread. Not to mention, the fermentation process can introduce beneficial probiotics into the bread, promoting gut health and improving digestion. By milling your own wheat and baking your own bread, you're making a significant step towards better health. Fresh whole grain bread can provide the nutrition your body craves, improving digestion, energy levels, and overall well-being. So what are you waiting for? Get up and order your grains today.
So there you have it. Saving grain and milling your own wheat is not just about preparing for uncertain times, but about reclaiming your health and well-being. Let's return to the wisdom of the past and embrace the power of whole grains. The Bible teaches us in Proverbs 6:6-8, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest." This proverb uses the example of ants to teach the importance of preparation and diligence, storing food in times of abundance for future needs. Are we not greater than ants? So, let's be proactive like the ant, put action to our words, and get to work today. Thank you for joining us on this information video. We hope it enlightens you and makes you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more tips on healthy, sustainable living. Until next time, stay healthy and stay prepared.